Hey, thank you for watching this video. If we haven't met, my name is Mr. Chow, and I love teaching each winter break a enrichment course. And this winter break, I'm super excited because I'm going to be teaching a course titled Artificial Intelligence for Biology and in Medicine. So we're going to investigate how has AI changed the biology field and how has it changed healthcare and medicine in general. So this is video number one of three. This is an overview, the what and the why. So follow along and let's learn together. So, as I said, there's three videos, and I hope you can continue with us as we learn in the other two videos how AI is impacting the field of biology and how AI is impacting the field of medicine. All right, so let's take a look at all of them. Here we go. If you're a part of my program where students can take notes on a note taker and receive a free certificate of completion, thank you for doing that. And yeah, just follow along as I teach. All right. So in this video, what are we going to do? We're going to first look at an overview of what is AI. I think several people, even you, like you probably have your definition of AI, but we're going to go ahead and define it based on what I've been able to research. Then we're going to look at practical uses of AI. Then we're going to look at the history of AI. Then we're going to look at how there is an AI race across the globe and what are we competing for and how are we investing as a nation. And then we're going to look at understanding the role of AI in education. And then we're going to take a look at how challenges can result from AI and then some reflection questions to consider as always. All right. So here we go. Before we get going, there's a quick disclaimer that I've got to just throw out there. I am not a professional when it comes to AI or artificial intelligence. I did not go to school for it. I don't have extensive training on it. I'm not even a frequent user of AI. So why am I even doing this class? Because I want to learn. And because I've learned so much and I want to share it with you. And I've done hours of research. So hopefully this video is helpful to you. I'm just a teacher who loves to learn, as I said, and the best way I feel like I learn is when I do my research and I share with others. So thank you for listening and thank you for clicking on this video. So a lot of my research, as I was digging deep into what is AI, I came across this idea of like the big three, right? So these are three fundamental nest concepts in the field of AI. So let's go through each and every one of them. Number one, artificial intelligence. Number two, machine learning. You may have heard that. What does that actually mean? Number three, deep learning. All right, so let's go through all three. If you're doing the note taker, go ahead and follow along, and I've kind of underlined some things for you to help you identify what to type in. All right, so here we go. Artificial intelligence, AI, encompasses the fields of computer science and data science focused on building machines with human intelligence to perform tasks like what? Learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language understanding. Instead of relying on explicit instructions from a programmer, AI systems, they learn from that data and that enables them to handle complex problems and simple repetitive tasks that I guess we don't want to do, improving how we respond over time. That's AI. And you probably know a definition like that. When it comes to machine learning, this is a subset of AI that involves giving machines the ability to learn from data and experience without being explicitly programmed for every specific task. So algorithms use data to build analytical models and improve performance over time. I looked this up. Many bigger companies, they're going to have a machine learning department. So I looked up, hey, why do these companies have machine learning departments? And this may be of interest to you. But as you can see, these departments build and deploy these systems, these AI systems that can learn to automate tasks, find insights, and make predictions, handling everything from developing algorithms, right, as I said, like for fraud protection or recommendations, and training models to integrating them into products, ultimately driving efficiency, innovation, and better decision making across business. They work with large data sets and these programming to create these models. You may be a part of a machine learning department of a big company, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. The last one is deep learning. And this is something I've heard about, but I didn't quite understand what it is. Now, as a biology teacher, I can tell you the first thought I had is, okay, so take a look. This is a specialized set of machine learning that is multi-layered artificial neural networks. I thought of the brain, about the human brain, and about how interconnected the human brain is. And that's essentially what deep learning is. It's going to try to simulate brain-like thinking when it comes to analyzing large amounts of these data like images, sound, text. The deep learning refers to multiple hidden layers in these networks that allow for these complex pattern recognition. Why would a company have a deep learning department? I've never even heard of that, but let's read. These departments build and deploy these models using multi-layered neural networks to find complex patterns in data, powering things like smart chatbots, uh, um, personalized recommendations, computer vision, fraud detection, predictive maintenance, and neural language processing, et cetera, automating tasks, et cetera. Now let's look at the practical uses of AI. So regardless if you're for AI or against AI, let's just take a look at how people have been using AI. Take a look at all these different topics, and I got this from the source of the Michigan Tech Neurological University. Automated vehicles, biometrics, chatbots. So take a look at all these for yourselves. Facial, speech, and image recognition, fraud detection, gaming, ChatGPT. You got GPS, you got image generators, you got all these robotics, you've got self-driving vehicles, virtual assistants, weather prediction, etc. So as you can see, it's not just in the previous few years. AI has been a part of our society for decades. It's just now it's becoming more user friendly when it comes to especially these AI tools when it comes to ChatGPT, etc. I really like this part of the research where it says AI handles many tasks faster with exceptional accuracy and reliability, freeing us humans from repetitive and tedious chores. Okay. Now, yeah, so let's keep going. Businesses and organizations save time and money by automating these processes, using the technology to stay connected with customers and gain a competitive edge. So AI is a part of everyday life. Regardless if you want to use it or not, it's just already incorporated into a lot of the technologies that we use. If you've ever used a self-service kiosk, if you've ever used a search bar, if you've ever used something with suggested results, all these have been used with AI. Okay. So let's look at the history of AI. And now, once again, this is not a history course of AI, but based on my research, here's what I found. So it really began, a lot of the research and a lot of the concepts came from the early 1900s to like the mid 1900s. Um, Many articles talked about Alan Turing's landmark 1950 paper. And this idea of this Turing test, which on the next slide I'll kind of talk to you about, to determine if a machine can exhibit human-like intelligence. And this at that time, before computers came widespread to all these, and to the normal person, this was groundbreaking because people were like, "What? What are you talking about?" Or machine learning, early machines, etc. This Turing scale kept coming up in a lot of these articles, and I want to quickly talk about this. The Turing test proposed by Alan Turing is a was a study on a research based on if a machine can exhibit intelligent behavior. Okay, that is indistinguishable from a human through conversation. So this idea is this judged? Can it tell if it's a human or if it's a machine? And that was once again groundbreaking for the mid 1900s. As as it progressed, this idea of AI programs and stuff, you've probably heard of computers playing humans versus chess. You've probably heard of Eliza or any of these other expert systems. So you can take a pause it and take a look at the read there if you'd like. I also want to tell you that I still remember when the internet was made public. I remember in the 19, I remember it was like more 1993, but the research said that it was widely, the World Wide Web, WWW, was first made publicly available in 1991. But I remember hearing 1993 growing up, and that's really when the internet was widespread and used for business or used for research, etc. So if you do the math, it's about 32 to 34 years ago from today, 2025, that the internet was made public. So that's not that long ago. Even if you look at when the US was founded, in 1776, or like when or when we became the United States, that's 249 years ago. So if you think about it, the internet was only founded about 32 years ago, 32 to 34 years ago. So it's still relatively somewhat new when it comes to our understanding of what it is. Google, okay, let's keep going on this timeline. 1998 was officially a search engine and a company, and that was based on a research project that I guess Larry Page and Sergey Brin did in 1996. ChatGPT, as we continue, or actually, let's go back. Even as this was coming about, there were other AI tools like Ask Jeeves. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but essentially, it was this website where you could ask Jeeves anything you want, and you would kind of have a ChatGPT like response. Now, not as good as what we have now, but it blew everyone's minds because at that time, there's so many questions that people had, and instead of going to the public library, which I did growing up, where you go read a book about it or you go find the research about it, it would take you days to find the answer. Now you have the answer in the palm of your hands, your cell phone, or your computer when it comes to these incredible AI search engines. Now, is that good or bad? that is up for your debate. I have my personal opinions on it, but this is just what it is, and we've got to keep learning on this. 2022, apparently November 30th. I don't think ChatGPT was really made big until about 2024, because that's really when everyone started talking about it a little bit more. 2023 maybe, yeah, there's that. So let's take a look. Gemini came out February 8th, 2024. Google released it as a rebranding to a current chatbot that they already had. The AI race across the globe. So what's going on across the globe, and why is there all this talk about AI and infrastructure and investments and stuff like that? Well, if you take a look currently in 2025, here are the different here are the different AI models, tools that are used. And now, to be completely honest with you, the only one I've used is Gemini. I have not used any of the other ones, and that's just personal preference, and that's just what I've been able to explore as well. But I have heard of these different ones here, and I've seen colleagues play around with them as well. So take a look at some of those. There's a big news article and lots of news around surrounding this White House meeting with all these tech CEOs September 4th, and you probably heard about it. A lot of the top CEOs of all tech across the world came together for this meeting. And really, what were they doing? They were kind of publicly telling people that they're putting in these crazy big investments. So you probably heard of, you know, Apple or Meta putting in 600 billion, like all this money. Now, where's that money going towards? Here's another thing, OpenAI, and and this was just yesterday. But as you can see, these valuations are pretty insane. OpenAI, which is a relatively new company, is already taken a look at almost $830 billion. And that usually takes companies decades to build, but this is a few years here. So there's a lot of interest here and there's a lot of investment here. What is this infrastructure? So building AI infrastructure means creating the entire ecosystem of just powerful hardware. So graphics processing units, GPUs, fast storage, networking, software. A lot of this is not just physical data centers, but it's also software as well. Machine learning ops tools. You've got develop, train, run complex, creating this digital backbone, not just a physical building, but also involves setting up physical buildings as well, which I'll talk about there as well. And you've probably heard that these data centers require lots of cooling and lots of power to run them. Okay, and they're being built all over the nation right now. So, what is a data center, and what does it do? So, an AI data center is a specialized facility built to handle this massive computational power, data, and energy needs of artificial intelligence, as you can see there. And these are giant AI supercomputers, if you think about it. So I pulled up this image, and this is from an article, How to Build an AI Data Center. But as you can see, here's really essentially what a data center is. You've got your water storage because you need cooling. You've got cooling. You've got lots of energy being used. But what is all this? And you probably have seen this before, but all these are organized racks, and these racks have servers, and every server has multiple chips, multiple, or even GPUs, etc. And this is really kind of to store a lot of the computing power and all that's needed to run AI. So these are these data centers, and this is what they're building. And these are huge. Understanding the role of AI in education. I recently came across, and once again, this is a little bit biased in one direction, but I wanted to share this with you as well. 2 days ago, this video came out by CBS News titled "How the Reliance on Computers in Classrooms Impacts Students." We all know that at home there's a lot of technology being used, but in classrooms it's actually being used a lot as well. If you take a look at what's going on. And this article really helped me as an educator because it interviewed Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath, and he's an author and neuroscientist, and he's been studying classrooms for decades about how we learn, etc. And here's the title. It talked about this free press article that was released by the same author, and it said we gave students laptops and we took away their brains. Now, pretty clickbaity title, but as it continued, it said from generation to generation to generation, we've noticed that this current generation, and it's not your fault, and if you're a part of this generation, but this current generation, based on the research, says um, is less cognitively capable than all the other generations beforehand. So why is that? Once again, the reliance on computers. Why do I need to know something if I can just chat GPT it? Why do I need to learn something if I can just look it up? So think about this, and as we learn. When asked at the end of this video, and I'll sum it up for you, what can we do to reverse the cognitive decline seen in today's students? Now, the answer was not something that I think is actually feasible in today's classroom. However, it really teaches you about um, how it's worked for many generations, and this may help you as a learner or as a teacher. It says, Jared says, go back to what we've been doing 20 years ago with pens, papers, printers. Avoid too much screen time, don't use your computer too much while in class. Um, Go back to analog learning, and this is how we develop to learn. By doing the research, by having delayed gratification, et cetera. Now, there's another school, I didn't make a slide on it, and you've probably heard about it in the past year, started in Texas, and now it's going nationwide. And it's a private school. It's about $70,000 a year, so not everyone can afford that. However, it's taught not by teachers, but it's taught by coaches who are facilitators on the side. And they always say every student at this school has 2 hours of AI learning, powered by this app and powered by this website where you can learn all the stuff. There's no grades. There's AP tests that they take. There's character scores. There's life skills and soft skills. There's the ability to present, right? So there's this list of 30 things. You can look it up online, and I think in public education we can learn a lot from that as well, because we should be teaching our students these skills as well. So do I think that fits every student? No. These are the highly motivated, highly self-regulated and independent student types, which there are, and that school really helps those students. But for the average student, I would say what we do in our public school actually works, and it's actually really well. And we're learning as well as public school teachers. As we look at challenges that can result from AI, there's a lot. There's bias and fairness, there's ensuring data privacy and security, there's job displacement, there's a potential for misuse, misinformation, lots of misinformation. Just because you type it into AI doesn't mean it's true. It's trying its best to gather all the data. However, there's a lot that I think you and I have said and seen that AI is not correct. Take a look at some of these reflection questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. What did you learn from this lesson on AI? Reflect, how much do you currently use AI in your life and learning? Reflect, how do you find yourself trying first or asking a person in real life, or taking the time, the delayed gratification to embrace learning? Or do you find yourself just wanting to find the answer quickly? Because if there's one thing we've learned, grit, delayed gratification will create success in student learners. And then what are some other questions that you have? You go do some research just like I did, and I learned so much. And I love making this video. So thank you so much for watching. And if you can continue with us, there's two more videos, one on biology, one on medicine and healthcare. Please watch those because they're very, very informational. Thank you so much. Bye.